In this city, monsters don't hide in shadows. They file paperwork. By day, they run hedge funds, nightclubs, logistics companies, and shell corporations, stacked 3 layers deep. By night, they are what they've always been: predators, immortals, relics of older laws. And someone has to regulate them. Someone always does. Mara Ellison was not supposed to be that person. She was a paralegal, not a lawyer, not a partner, not powerful enough to matter. Her job was to prepare documents no one wanted to read and archive files no one remembered existed. She handled legacy records trusts older than skyscrapers, contracts written before the city had a name. She was very good at being invisible, which is why no one noticed when she stayed late on a Thursday night, chasing down a discrepancy in a sealed estate file that refused to reconcile. The client was listed as defunct, no heirs, no assets, no explanation, just a single instruction: open upon confirmation of lineal extinction. Mara frowned at the phrase. Lineal extinction wasn't a term anyone used anymore. It belonged to dynasties and bloodlines, not modern law. Still, procedure was procedure. She broke the seal. The moment she did, something in the room changed. Not dramatically. Not enough to panic. Just enough to unsettle. The air felt heavier, as if pressure had dropped without warning. Her skin prickled. The overhead lights dimmed, not flickering, yielding. She scanned the first page, the concordance of non-human commerce. Her stomach tightened. She flipped the page. The document wasn't symbolic. It wasn't metaphorical. It wasn't eccentric rich person nonsense. It was meticulous, clinical, written in language so precise, it bordered on cruel. It governed territorial rights, feeding limitations, market interference, interspecies arbitration, corporate masking requirements, enforcement mechanisms. It governed them. Every supernatural entity operating within city limits. Her mouth went dry. She reached Clause 7 when the office door opened behind her. Mara turned slowly. 5 people stood in the doorway. They did not look alike. They did not feel alike. But every instinct she had screamed the same thing: danger. The first was a man in a tailored black suit, pale as marble, eyes too still. He smiled politely, the way someone does when they already know the outcome. Next to him stood a woman with hair the color of autumn leaves, and eyes that reflected light, wrong, too sharp, too knowing. She radiated amusement, like heat. Behind them loomed a man who looked human only by technicality. His presence pressed against Mara's chest, heavy and sulfur-warm, like standing too close to a furnace. The fourth leaned casually against the doorframe, broad-shouldered, restless, gaze flicking to every exit like he was measuring distance and speed. And the last man stood slightly apart. Wings were not visible, but she knew they were there. You didn't see them so much as feel the absence where they should be. His expression was unreadable. Old. Tired. The pale man spoke first. "Mara Ellison," he said smoothly. "You've activated a dormant charter." Her throat tightened. "You're in a restricted office." "Yes," he agreed. "So are you." The woman with autumn hair smiled. "Congratulations. You're the new authority." Mara laughed once, sharp and incredulous. "I'm a paralegal." The demon, she was certain now that's what he was, tilted his head. "You're a signatory." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "I didn't sign anything." The fallen angel finally spoke. His voice was quiet, but it carried. "The charter recognizes blood, not intention." Mara looked down at the document in her hands. At the fine print she hadn't reached yet. Clause 13. Succession upon extinction. Clause 14. Binding of enforcers. Clause 15. Authority of the unwilling. Her name was already there. Typed. Perfect. Undeniable. "This isn't possible," she whispered. The vampire stepped closer. Not threateningly, respectfully. It is, and it's inconvenient for everyone involved, the shifter snorted. Understatement. The Fae circled her slowly. She doesn't even know what she can do yet. Mara swallowed. What I can do is call the police. The demon smiled wider. You could. Nothing happened. She tried again. Still nothing. The fallen angel met her eyes. Clause 9. Jurisdictional severance. Mundane authorities cannot intervene in concordance matters. Mara's hands shook. You expect me to believe that I now control what every monster in the city? The vampire corrected gently. You regulate us. That's worse. Silence fell. Then, unexpectedly, all 5 of them moved at once, not toward her, into position. The vampire took her left. The shifter positioned himself at her back. The demon watched the windows. The Fae leaned near enough that Mara could smell crushed leaves and rain. The fallen angel stood in front of her, a quiet barrier. Mara's breath hitched. What are you doing? She asked. The angel answered. Protecting the authority. From what? The vampire's smile vanished. Everyone else. The concordance was not a secret. It was a leash. And now the leash had a new hand on it. By morning, the supernatural corporations would know. By nightfall, they would test her. Mara sank into her chair, staring at the document that had just rewritten her life. I don't know how to do this. The Fae's voice softened. Just a little. You'll learn. Fast, added the demon. The shifter grinned. We'll make sure you survive long enough to figure it out. Mara looked at them, these ancient, dangerous beings bound to her by words written before she was born. Why you? She asked the fallen angel. His gaze was steady. Because the charter was designed to choose someone who wouldn't seek power. She exhaled shakily. I don't want this. That, said the vampire, is precisely why you're qualified. Mara closed the file. When she opened it again, her hands were steady. Then we start with compliance audits, she said. And I want a full list of violations. All 5 of them stilled. Slowly, very slowly, the demon smiled like he'd just found religion. The city had monsters. But tonight, it had something far more dangerous. A woman who understood the rules. And the authority to enforce them.